So, welcome to a segment of story time where I'll be reading a story um, and show some common sense with some common sense commentary afterwards. A long time ago lived an emperor who above all liked beautiful clothes. One day, two con artists arrive in the empire. They pass themselves off as weavers and boast of knowing how to weave the most marvelous cloth imaginable. But clothes made of this cloth, they say, have the strange property of being invisible to fools. The emperor is delighted to hear this. Now he will be able to rid his empire of all fools. He orders the two weavers to begin work, but soon becomes impatient, and dispatches two of his most faithful advisers to examine the weaver's progress. When the two con artists, who pretend to be very busy at their task, ask the advisers what they think of the cloth, the advisers, of course, see nothing. They do not admit this, however, but instead praise the work, as they do to the emperor when they report back to him. The emperor decides to go himself to see the famous cloth. When his two advisers extol the quality of the weaver's work, the emperor realizes with great distress that he sees nothing. Still, he is careful not to admit this and requests that the weavers sew the cloth into a set of beautiful new clothes for him. He will display his costume, he decides, at a special ceremony attended by all of his subjects. The great day arrives. The con artist dressed the emperor in his marvelous clothes, light as the web of a spider, they say. As the emperor's entourage moves through the town, everyone expresses admiration for the emperor's beautiful new clothes. The chorus of praise is broken by a single voice, that of a small child. Even though this voice is very quiet, it expresses what everyone thinks privately. But he has no clothes at all. This cry of innocence is repeated from one to another, first whispered and then amplified into an immense clamor, and eventually an enormous burst of laughter as the people jeer at the deceit that had been perpetrated upon their ruler. Now, it's interesting how the child, the one who's innocent, is able to not fall for this, I guess, fear of looking dumb, because that's what it was all about, right? No one wanted to point out what they saw because they were afraid of what others would think. And so they're afraid to stand up even for themselves. What was really the honest truth for themselves, what they actually saw. Which I could relate with Destiny, where people could perhaps see what's actually occurring with Destiny, what's actually the value of Destiny. But because they are so afraid of just being honest, that they just don't be honest. I mean, how sad is that? That we're at that point where people just won't support themselves. And also just how children are raised in this environment and so become like this. When initially they were innocent and were well enough to actually support themselves and be honest. And just communicate, that's all you're doing. So I would suggest for anyone to join the Desteni Forum and just communicate. There's no trickery, there's nothing, there's no hidden agenda. It's all out in the open, and there's nothing to lose. There really isn't, besides, well, I mean, losing that which you want to lose, right? Losing all those thoughts, those patterns that are keeping you boxed in, that are keeping you enslaved and suffering, which you know you're doing it to yourself, which is why you can free yourself from that. So this is story time, and yeah, have a great day. Bye.